Hey, welcome to my channel, and I am going to make a very unpopular video. And the reason this will be unpopular is because my entire life I have been an outlier. I've been a rebel. I have always questioned what other people said was normal or the right way. And I did this since early childhood. And not in a stupid way. Often people think that rebellion has to be destructive, but it doesn't. Rebellion just means you're an individual who can think for themselves. When I was young, meaning age 16, when I had my awakening through my early 30s, I was really into punk and new wave and looked like a complete individual. I'm not going to say freak, other people freak. To me, an individual. And the reason I did this wasn't because I wanted attention. It's because it was who I was. And just like a snake has stripes to warn you that it's different or poisonous, I learned early on that I did not enjoy, fit into normal society. And so this was my way of saving both myself and those people who may think that I was one of them from the pain of rejection or discomfort, because, I was just on a very different journey. I didn't have the normal beginnings that most people do, that form our core emotions or the reason that we follow tradition and don't question things. And this was the biggest gift I ever received, though it was brutal and it came from neglect and abuse. Now I understand what a gift it is. Now that I've explained that, have you noticed that we have become a complete pity society? That the majority of the videos on YouTube are trying to convince you that someone else, the big bad boogeyman, what they don't want you to know, what they're hiding from you, is basically that you're powerless. You're powerless. And there's all these malevolent forces that are intentionally against you. And these are all the reasons why you are not going to have. These are the reasons you're not going to succeed. These are the things that are keeping you from being healthy. So if you are drawn to conspiracy theories and you're drawn to these types of videos, basically what you're looking for is an excuse. I'm just telling you. Because even in the most valid forms of obvious evil, you still have a personal choice and you still have willpower. I came from nothing. Not only did I came from nothing, I came from a deficit, because not only did I grow up working poor, but I grew up without the normal unconditional love and support of a community. And, my parents didn't teach us anything. I didn't know how to address an envelope when I left home. My parents were really sick people. They were alcoholics. They had a lot of mental illness. They were part of a chain. There were generations of neglect and abuse and addiction. And somehow I made my way out into the world and figured it out. And I made a lot of sacrifices. When other people were going to concerts and enjoying the football games, I was working on building my own business. I was sacrificing. When everyone else had cable TV, I didn't have cable TV. My car is 1992 Jeep that was given to me. And I've actually never owned a personal car that had air conditioning. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is that because of these sacrifices and because of my understanding that nothing's given to me, nothing was going to be given to me, that I was going to have to not only search, that I was going to have to heal and work on what I was doing to hold myself back. The relationships I was choosing, the habits I was choosing, the self-sabotage because of feeling undeserving, because my parents felt undeserving and had this idea that, you had worked hard and suffered until you died kind of thing, instead of working smart. They weren't educated people. I had to throw away, I had to challenge a lot of the traditional core beliefs that were instilled in me, and a lot of ignorance too, and prejudice. So that was a gift. But I did it my way, and with talent and emotional intelligence and consistently disciplining myself and taking care of my body and not being a sheeple, not following everyone else and not hearing the bullshit that people will try to sabotage you with. I made my way around the planet with nothing, because this is what I figured out. So when everyone would tell me like, oh, there's no money in the United States, we're in a repression, a depression, a wah, excuses. I was like, my father's Native American, and if I was a hunter-gatherer, would I just stand around staring at the apple tree that had no apples on it, or would I have to go where the resources were? So I figured out early on that just because maybe the US art market wasn't booming, then fine, look at the globe, who has the money, and go there and sell art. And that's what adaptation is. It's finding resources so that you do not suffer, so you don't starve. It's adaptation. So in today's world, it's growing and changing so quickly that if you want to not just survive, because I hate that. I hate when people say, I'm a survivor or you're a survivor. I'm not a survivor, bitch. I'm a thriver, because a dog survives, an animal survives. I haven't survived. I've thrived. And I'm not going to give you the personal details of my financial life, but it's pretty amazing. And like I said, this was all done by very careful decision making, forging smart friendships and relationships, taking time to challenge myself to do something that terrified me and was uncomfortable for me. You have to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone if you really want to get ahead, because this is what successful people understand, that the game is the thrill and that there's tons of failure involved in the process of getting there, and that don't get too comfortable, because just as you think you got it, the world's going to change, because that's what our world is. Our world is, from the beginning of history, it's consistent chaos. The universe was created through chaos, destructive, violent chaos. Humans are destructive and creative, but in general, we're still very primitive, violent, and chaotic. So that being said, you have to prepare your children, and you have to prepare yourself to be in this constant acclamation, because that's how people thrive instead of survive. And it couldn't be any more easier than today to use mediums like, social media, to create a business or a format to thrive on. But it takes tenacity. It takes a lot of tenacity. Um, I'm in a place in my life, that my YouTube channel is just shoe money. And my opinion, I'm not whoring myself. If someone says something shitty to me on my YouTube channel, I confront them because I don't need your money. I don't need your attention because I have everything that I need. I'm just sharing with you because I'm hitting that age that I'm an elder now, and I know things. I know things through experience, not through Google. And I'm going to share something with you right now because this is the truth. What I have seen recently is that the people in my peripheral life that are struggling all have unresolved mental illness or childhood trauma, meaning they had things happen to them in their childhood and they don't realize it and they don't know how that's affecting their progress, or are functioning alcoholics or addicts. Everyone I know who's struggling right now financially or just getting by, living on the edge, that is where they're at. Another thing I want to share with you, because I have hustled in my life. I started my own business with my bare hands and no capital, no support whatsoever. When I left home, I was 19 and my parents were like, don't let the door hit you in the ass. And that was the end of that. So I know what it's like to be self-made and I know what it's like to hustle. And I've tried to offer that hustle and offer a leg up to many other people, young people, and not one of them have taken me up on my wisdom, on my offer. Because there's a special person who's an entrepreneur. There's a special person who doesn't accept sacrificing their life to be basically a slave for time. And this is what really makes me angry is right now there's this huge movement against basically what built America, and that is entrepreneurs, the wealthy. But what you have to understand is everyone thinks that the wealthy are controlling everything. Well, yes, of course, to a degree. But it's only because, from what I see, so many of the majority of the population refuse to control themselves or take control of their lives. And if you can't control yourself or refuse to take control of your life because you do not feel worthy of it, or your mental health history or addiction is getting in the way, well, then you know what I mean? Somebody's got to control things. I have real estate, and I'm telling you, the majority of people, the idea of giving everyone a free house or a free apartment, most people cannot handle the responsibility of caring for a house. It's a lot. It takes a lot of hustle. It takes a lot of gratitude. It takes a lot of intelligence. It takes money. And this is why you have people that own real estate and people that rent. Because the majority of people do not understand or don't have the self-discipline to be able to care for an apartment or a house by themselves. If we were so evolved and we didn't need to be controlled, if everyone would actually follow the same lane for what's good for everyone, well, we wouldn't need traffic lights and the police. But the fact is that most people are entitled and self-serving. And not just the rich. I see crazy entitlement with the poor and the working poor. It's a human thing, and it's an American thing. It's a crazy American thing. And I'm just telling you that don't let them convince you that there's all of these powers that are keeping you from improving yourself, from taking care of your health. Everything you need to know is on that label of that food before you buy it. So if you're buying food that has a bunch of shit in it, now it's your bad because we live in the information age. If you don't research something before you consume it, before you buy it, before you whatever, it's your bad now. It's my bad now because we live in the information age. All you got to do is Google it for the most part. So you can you can keep watching these endless bullshit videos that will convince you that you're powerless to everything. But the fact is, we still live in America, if you're lucky. And you can still start a business here. And you can still take advantage of a lot of things. But it's not going to be handed to you. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some sacrifices. And it's going to take grit. It's called grit. It's going to take some grit. But what you will learn in the process is something so valuable, and that is the difference between being a character, which has become very popular through social media, and having character. There's a big difference between having character and being a character, because when you have character, you have the strength to make good decisions that work for you personally, not someone else, and get you through the hard bullshit. And at the end of the day, you can look at yourself in the mirror with pride, no matter what it is, win or lose. Being a character means pretending you're something you're not, using a face filter, Botox, playing a stupid whoring monkey on social media for cash. Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. But I hope you're saving your money, and I hope you have, that you're investing that, because it's a really short-lived, youth is a very short-lived party, kids. And again, back to the adaptation, because everything could change tomorrow. So, think about this. What excuses are you making for yourself? I look at most American men, and now I'm going to fat shame. I look at most American men, and it's shocking. If we were invaded tomorrow, and this is a statistic, most American men are so out of shape, and especially young American men, we're going to be like turtles on our backs. So, first of all, what are you doing? The first thing you should take control of is your health. Because if you're blessed enough to have good health, it's the first thing you actually have full control of. Is how much you exercise, what the hell you eat, and so on. You figure it out. So first comes your health. Next comes your mental health. If there's a reason and you're making excuses for yourself, or you're stuck, or your social anxiety, or whatever your trip is, because everyone's got their trip these days, well, you know what? You can do the work, find a therapist, or do self-therapy, but you got to push yourself. Or you can be some weirdo living in your parents' basement for the rest of your life, living in a fantasy world, setting yourself up to have a non-existent shit life. That's your choice. It's your choice. So what are you going to do? I mean, these enabling parents, my God, I can't. This is the reason I didn't become a parent, because today I would be considered a monster, because I wouldn't settle for that, because it's abusive. Making excuses for people is disrespectful. For me to tell you that you don't have the personal power to succeed and change your reality and to get ahead, it's disrespectful, it's sabotaging, and it's abusive. So all of these tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of videos out there telling you that it's their fault, that this person is stopping you, that thing is stopping you, they are not your friend. These people are evil. They're criminals. taking advantage of people's weakness. And so be weak if you want to and see where that's going to get you. And this is how it's a really simple principle. This is how I've always ran my life. And it's kind of abstract, but it's also kind of spiritual. And I'm going to end the video with this tirade. Imagine, they've said over and over again through people's personal experience that when we die, our lives go by us like a movie. We get a reenactment of our entire lives. Is this a movie that you'd want to watch? Or is this a movie that you would be ashamed of or bored and want to change the channel? Because if you're living an authentic life, you will watch that movie with joy. You would watch that movie with pride. But most people are living their lives with excuses, with dysfunction, with avoidance, with people pleasing. And it's a waste of life. It's a waste. I could die tomorrow. I would have no regrets. I've lived my life on my terms and as an individual, and I've been successful because of that. And that's my advice to you. Be hard on yourself, but do the work, and you will build character, and you will thrive, and you will like yourself a lot. And this will attract the right kind of people into your life, and the right kind of relationships, and the right kind of experiences. And that's it. Thanks for watching this if you made it to the end. If you like my quick money-saving tips, garden wisdom, art, and occasional magic, and of course, my occasional tirade, both psychological or socioeconomic, political, please like, share, subscribe. It helps. Bye.